Hey racers, it's Scott and I'm here with Abby again for this video. And today, Abby's going to walk us through, what are we going to be doing today?
Changing the gear ratio.
Yes, that's right. We are going to be taking on the task of changing the ratios in the Hewland. So, Abby's going to be our worker today and I will be assisting. And she's going to take this on. She's not real happy about the fact that it's messy, but none of us really are. So we'll go ahead and she is going to, let's see, we're going to show you the Hewland here. She's going to start, we've started by draining the oil. Some of these have a drain, some don't. If you have a drain, great, it makes it a little less messy. And she's going to go ahead and pull this rear cover off here. There are 7 nuts here, and she's going to go ahead and do that. Okay, Abby's got the 7 nuts here off, and she's going to go ahead and take that rear cover off. Abby, can you tell everybody if you've ever done this before?
I've never done this.
Have you ever seen the inside of one of these?
No.
Are you a little scared?
Yeah.
Do you think you can do it?
No.
Okay. Sounds familiar to those of us that are new to these cars. The first time is always a bit of a challenge, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. But as you can see, Abby just turned 8 years old, and she's willing to conquer this.
No.
So,
no. Not doing it.
Why don't you go ahead and take that rear cover off there, sweetie. Yep, tap it right there. Now just pull and work it out.
Like my tooth?
Yep, just like a tooth.
But you don't use a hammer. And you can see I lost my tooth before my birthday.
Just like that. You got a little sealer holding it up.
Keep going.
So we'll just keep on pulling. Yep, just light taps, light taps. There you go, Abby. A little more.
Is there not glue on here?
Kind of. One more. We're almost there. Keep going. Keep going. Keep tapping.
Oh, come on.
I know. Keep tapping. All right.
Okay. It looks so disgusting to do it. You do it. You do it.
All right. A little more prodding, and Abby has the rear cover off here. So the next thing she's going to do, here you go, I'll hand you the tools, Abby.
Okay, these are this. Which one this? Oh.
She's going to go ahead and disconnect the shift linkage here and pull the selector finger out.
Hold this.
Yep, I'll hold this one for you.
Yeah.
Go right ahead, sweetie. Good. I think you got it loose. Yep. Okay, Abby, why don't you tell them what you did there?
I took out the shift finger
and the cotter pins that go through these bolts here. So, we're going to retorque these, but a helpful tip if you're at the track is to go ahead and count the threads that are showing. So 1, 2 on this one. And then I like to make a mark that I can see that aligns with the cotter pin hole on this.
Is that a pencil?
I'm just going to stamp it. Okay? And the same goes down here. This way I've at least gone back to the position that I was in. So right now we're going to go ahead and push reverse in, and then go ahead and put third gear in as well. What this does is this is going to lock your input shaft and your pinion shaft together. So this way we'll take these nuts off, or at least loosen this nut, and we'll take the pinion nut off. Abby, here's a screwdriver for you. Can you take the draw bolt out?
It's the wrong way.
Other way, sweetie.
Okay. This is so slimy. At least I don't have to use my hands, people.
Good job, almost there.
Should I just pull it?
Yep. A few more twists. There you go.
Whoa.
Go ahead and put it in our gear change tray right there. Okay. And
Huge.
this next step, Abby, I'm going to get you to hold the camera. This one will take a little bit of dad muscles here. So if you could aim the camera right there. We are going to loosen the input shaft, and this is I'm turning counterclockwise. And I just need to, once it breaks free, and you can do it by hand, just go ahead and leave that nut there. Now we're going to do the pinion shaft. I'm going to switch my sockets out. All right, we're going to do, and we're going to be twisting this one clockwise to loosen it. And we're going to pull this one all the way off. We'll put that in our tray. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull these out of gear so that the gearbox will be in neutral there. And we're going to go ahead and take these 13mm bolts off. We'll come back to you when we got. This next piece is going to take both of us. So, Abby, get a stick or something. It helps you. And what she's doing is she's putting this against the pinion there, the tail of the pinion. She's going to hold that on there, and we'll pull the gear stack off onto this. So, I like to just use a couple of light taps to mallet. That breaks the seal free and gets it off those studs there. Okay? Now, Abby's going to keep that on there. I'm pulling the whole gearbox out.
You can take that. It's got slime on it. Ew.
And now we're going to set it in our fixtures here. If you don't have fixtures, you can use blocks of wood to set this on your bench. Yep, to set this on your bench. Okay, at this point, you no longer need your stick. This just helps ensure that those gears aren't going to go collapsing on you. No, I'm okay, sweetie. All right. Next thing is we'll give you a cut shot. We're going to go ahead and take all the gears out for you. Okay, hopefully we're not too far out of focus here. What I've done is I've taken off the nut for the input stack, and Abby, I'm going to let you do this stack, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this input stack up just a little bit. And what I'm looking to do is free it. Okay, so you can see now my fourth gear is stuck down here. Okay, Get your fourth gear, and I like to go ahead and put it on. Also, there's a thrust washer down here. I personally go ahead and put the thrust washer back down there. That way I don't forget it. I start my nut here, and this way when I'm doing my gear changes I can keep everything in the right order. This I do last. So Abby's going to go ahead and take these off. Why don't you do it without a rag so they can see, sweetie? So slide it like this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now this assembly, this is your reverse here. So she took it off, and we're going to go ahead and flip it upside down right here. So this gear is our first gear right here, okay? Yeah, pull this out right there. There you go.
And one more.
That's second and third gear right there. So it would sit, I'm putting it down. And yep, that's a dog ring there. You wanna make sure you're inspecting that these aren't too rounded.
And this one won't come off.
And so we're going to go ahead. You got to slide. There's a collar. You pull that up, and then she's going to bring it out. And this is your fourth gear.
If there's something in it.
And the fourth gear will sit right like that. Now we're gonna look up in our chart and decide which gears we're gonna put in, and we'll swap them in the correct positions. Make sure that the gears are a mated set, and we'll come back to you right like this and go back together with it. All right, what we've got here, we've got our gears changed out to our top secret ratios in there. We've got our surfaces cleaned, and Abby is going ahead and putting some RTV on here. Some people prefer to use Hylamar. It's much easier to clean up. Personally, I don't like dealing with the leaks from the Hylamar, but hey, whatever floats your boat. And as soon as she gets that sealed up, she's going to take over the camera duties, and we're going to go ahead and put the box back on the transaxle and go back together with everything.
So technically we're just going to go back in reverse order.
Correct. Good job, Abby. One thing to do is make sure that all your gears spin freely. The stack is nice. This reverse shift fork here, a lot of times this likes to slip out. Make sure you've got that in good order before you go ahead and go back with it. All right, Abby, let's just make sure. Let me see that real quick. I'm going to give a little coating in some of these little touch-up areas. All right, you can take the camera for us.
I'm sorry if you'll get dizzy.
Make sure you hold it as still as you can, Abby. I'm going to swap spots with you, so I'll get right where you are, Abby.
Sorry.
Stand over there and get and aim it right toward that. All right, here we go. Again, I like to make sure that I've got a stick in here. Just makes me feel a little better. I have the car on a jack right now. This way, if I need to turn the pinion to get things lined up. The biggest thing right now is don't be forceful with things. You can really damage a pinion bearing with that if you're too forceful, and that's really bad news. All right, we've got it. I don't need our stick because the pinion's coming out here. I'm just light pressure. I'm not lined up. I can feel that I'm turning the bottom here, my input, and I'm not lined up on the engine either. So, Abby, can you keep the camera aimed right at the gearbox? There we go. All right, so now I'm engaged with the engine. Abby's slowly rotating that wheel for me. All right.
It's hard to move the tire and hold the camera.
You hold the camera and I will get the tire, okay? I got the tire.
Okay, good. Is that hard?
This last little bit is definitely sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's really fun. There's a trick to swapping around the dogs in there so you don't have to deal with this, but I wanted to show you the dogs in the manner that it's in most vehicles. I'm not hitting it that hard. I'm just...
You're jamming it.
I'm just lightly tapping. Sometimes the other method is you can rotate the input shaft. Sometimes that works. It never wants to go smoothly when there's sealer on it.
I think you had to restart.
We are. We're going to come out and restart it.
And we still have to put
And
the
go back.
oil.
Tell them what just happened.
He just pushed that thing in.
Yep, we had a little bit of work to do. We pulled it out. I had dropped a gear in there. So we pulled it out, regrouped, and then while we were wiggling, everything it just like it normally does, that last 1/4 inch, it just thunk and went right in. So we're going to go ahead, take our pinion nut and start that.
Why is it called a pinion?
Because this is the final drive. It's got a ring gear and a pinion gear. And so this nut goes on the end of the pinion. So it is a pinion nut. And we're going to go ahead and put our nuts on the cover here. Tighten those up, and then we'll come back to you and we will torque these down. Okay, so we've tightened our nuts. We got good squeeze out on that.
And we just lowered the car.
Thank you. Thank you. I forgot to say we lowered the car. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So I've got sights on my marks that I stamped, and so how far I need to go. You can use a torque wrench on this. Going by the manual here, I believe it's 110 or 115 foot-pounds on those. 115. So, anyways, we're gonna go. I'm just gonna line back up what I've done. I've got it in reverse and 3rd gear again.
This is me. Oh, oh. This is me. Whatever.
Goes there. That's lined up on the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and change my socket.
Yeah, what? Well, why do you have to change it?
Well, it's reverse threads, and we also want to flip our ratchet to the off position so the batteries don't go dead overnight. I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
All right, we are almost there. That's right.
Why did you say that?
Right on that, and we're all set. So what we're going to do next is going to be off camera, but we're going to have Abby put the draw bolt in. She's going to put it in till it's tight, and then she's going to back it off 1/2 of a turn, and then we'll put the cotter pins in. We're also going to clean up the back surface here, put it in neutral, put our shift fork in, and then go ahead and put the cover on. So other than that, that's basically the business part of it. We then need to remember to take our plug out, take our fill plug out when we're all done. Put a quart of fluid in, start it up, check for noises, make sure you go through the gears okay, and that's how to change gears in a Hewland. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this gives you a little confidence to tackle it at the track. Maybe try it in your garage. The first time takes a little longer. Once you get a little practice, this should take you about 30 or 45 minutes with simple hand tools. Thanks. Till next time. Abby, do you want to sign off?
Subscribe, and I've got a question.